Let's now work on the second line here, whereby we are going to calculate the number of products, the total quantity of those products, and the total value of the products which satisfy these two criteria, which is stocks lying for more than 30 days and less than or equal to 60 days, basically between 30 to 60 days. Please take a note that I have added one row here, so our evaluation range has changed from row number 9 to row number 58. So we'll bear that in mind while writing the formula. Let's calculate the first cell, which is number of products that meet these two criteria, and we are going to use COUNTIFs function. I'm going to type COUNTIFs, open bracket, the first criteria range, which is column E. We are going to evaluate inventory days, E9 colon E58. And the criteria is, in this particular case, let's refer to the cells rather than writing the criteria itself within the formula. So I'm going to refer to this cell and comma. The next is same range, so E9 colon E58, and this time the criteria is this particular cell, and I'm going to close this bracket and hit enter, and that is two products which satisfy these two criteria. And for our convenience, I have highlighted these two products which satisfy these criteria. Now, just to go over this again, the COUNTIF function counts the number of cells or number of times the cells satisfy the given criteria in the range. However, the SUMIF function checks how many times the cells in the range satisfy the criteria, and then the corresponding cells in the sum range are totaled up. So now let's figure out how to do this when we have multiple criteria. So similar to SUMIF, we have a function called SUMIFs. So SUMIFs function, what is the difference between SUMIF and SUMIFs? In SUMIF, your first parameter was the range to be evaluated, which is nothing but the criteria range. The second parameter is the criteria, and the third parameter, which is optional, is the sum range. However, in SUMIF, the sum range is the first parameter. That is, the range which you want to sum up should be the first range, and then followed by the criteria range and criteria. And next, you continue with the next criteria range and criteria 2, then the third criteria range and third criteria, and so on. So you begin with the sum range and then you write the sets of criteria range and the criteria. So let's write the formula here. I'm going to click here and type equal to SUMIFs and open bracket. First criteria is the sum range. We want to sum up the quantity, which is column F, and the range is from 9 to 58. So F9 colon F58, comma. The next is the first criteria range, which is we want to check the criteria for inventory days, and that is column E. So I'm going to type E9 to E58, comma, and the criteria is quotation mark greater than 30, quotation mark closed, comma. The criteria once again remains the same, which is inventory days, E9 to E58, comma, and this time the criteria is less than or equal to 60, and because it is a whole number, we can write instead of that 61 days and close the quotation mark. Let's write it this way, and later we will change it to the cell reference instead of hard coding the actual values in the formula. So we have completed the two criteria ranges and two criterias. We'll close parenthesis and hit enter. So the total quantity is 34 plus 34, which is 68. Now let's edit this formula by clicking in the formula bar here. We will remove the absolute values here for comparison to the cell references. Here we go. I'm going to delete this part and click here to select this cell. And second, I'm going to delete this part and click here to select this cell and hit enter. So this is how we write SUMIFs. Similarly, let's write SUMIFs for the total value of these products. I'm going to type SUMIFs open bracket, and this time the sum range is in column H, which is the total cost. So H9 colon H58 comma evaluation criteria, which is the inventory days E9 colon E58 comma the first criteria is here. Next, once again the evaluation criteria, which is E9 colon E58. Not evaluation criteria, the evaluation criteria range remains the same in this case, and the criteria is this particular cell. We finish writing the formula, close parenthesis and hit enter. We have got an error. Let's evaluate why. Let's double click on this and see where is the problem. So the first range is the sum range H9 to H58. The second range is the first criteria range E9 to E15. So here is the problem. We have specified a different structure of range. If you remember, we said that in sum ifs and count ifs, the range structure should be same. So all the ranges should be from 9th row to 58th row, or they should have the same number of rows in that particular column. Here it is different. That's why it gave a value error. I'm going to edit this and make it 58 and hit enter. Now we have the answer. So now there are two more set of criteria which I have written down here. I'm not going to work out the formula for them. I'm going to leave it for you to practice. Use this sheet, practice the count ifs, sum if and sum ifs function, and also use it for any other report or Excel sheet that you want to create.